All right. All praises be to the Most High in the name of Ahaya Bahashim Yeshaya, the Most High in the name of Christ. We're going to go over a quick lesson. Okay, this lesson is going to be called the homosexual movement and agenda. Now, I'm not here to slander anyone's personal lifestyle. We're not in anyone's bedroom. Okay, so we're not here to talk about all those things, which is here to let everyone know that there's an agenda that's been set up within this earth that would bring forth a certain lifestyle that would attack the natural families that the Most High have created since the beginning. And for those who don't believe the Bible, well, okay. That's your opinion if you don't believe the Bible. But those who are using this agenda against the Most High's creation very well believe in the Bible, and they believe in Satan and will prove it. Also will bring forth truth and bring forth understanding, so you'll know that that act in itself invokes certain spirits, satanic spirits within this earth, and we're going to go into that. We're going to start with the Bible and bring it all the way up into our modern times. Now, we know that the Bible is primarily a Hebrew origin book. The Bible belonged to the Hebrews, or the Jews, or the children of Israel, if we read the Old Testament. Christ was an Israelite. The disciples were Israelites. So they were well aware of the laws concerning different deviant or sexual activity. They were mindful of the law that say that one cannot deal with bestiality, that one cannot deal with another man, or a woman cannot lie with another woman. But there are societies that relish this particular behavior that were operating outside of the people of the Bible. The Egyptians were dealing with high-level homosexuality. So was the Babylonians. You're going to find out that the Babylonians built the structure, the construct, the spiritual, religious construct in bringing forth homosexuality in mainstream religion, which the Catholics picked up, which is part of their homosexual lifestyles, as well as pedophilia, which is ancient Babylonian. So no one can believe that this is something personal. We'll also give you history and resources according to secular history, so that you can do the research yourself and understand that the powers that control this earth promotes this particular lifestyle for a certain agenda. And in order to understand why homosexuality is rampant in the world today, when once it was considered something that one should keep in the closet, we need to go back to the beginning. Something happened in the beginning. Now, this is what the elite believes. Those that are controlling your society, your politicians, your Congress, your Senate, your president, your elites of the earth. This is what they believe. So if you don't even believe the Bible, I'm going to prove to you they believe it, and they are executing Satan's plan perfectly within this earth with the homosexual agenda. And they're moving it through all facets of life, entertainment. Okay, one time they had men and women teachers within society that was taught people to be men and women. Now you have homosexuals over social programs, homosexuals that are teaching in the schools. The lessons now have been aimed towards having the next generation of our children accepting a lifestyle outside of what's being taught in the private homes. Also, there have been a media push to bring forth the homosexual lifestyle in movies, TV, entertainment. Now it's becoming the new minority. My question is why? We know that media, Hollywood, shapes the ideas of society. But why? Do the elite of this earth really believe that they're protecting homosexuals based on hate crimes and bullying, or is that a cover? So let's go back to the beginning. It tells us in Matthew 24. Let's go there where it talks about as the days of Noah. Let's start back then. Let's go to Matthew the 24th chapter. We're going to start in the Bible and give you first the basis of what the Bible says concerning these things. And then we're going to show you how politically they were able to usher a particular lifestyle into society. Read.
St. Matthew chapter 24 verse 36.
Read.
But of that day and hour knoweth no man.
Talking about the coming of the Son of Man. Speaking of the coming of our Christ. So no man know the day or hour Christ will return, but there are signs. Here's one of the signs.
No, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. Verse 37. But as the days of Noah were.
As the days of Noah were.
So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be.
So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. So what were they doing during the time of Noah in the beginning before the flood? So something was going on in society in which if the Most High did not intervene, mankind would have been destroyed. The normal way of life constructed by the Most High from the beginning would have been eradicated. What was that? What was going on during the times of Noah? The Catholic Church would like to hide this from you, but we're going to bring this forth. Read.
Verse 38. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking.
They were eating and drinking. We've got to find out who that they were. Because people always ate and drank, so that wasn't a big deal. But who is that they? Read.
They were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage.
Who was marrying and giving into marriage? So obviously these wasn't normal marriages, because the Bible tells us that marriage is honorable in the eyes of the Most High. And it tell you that a marriage bed is undefiled. So this was an unlawful marriage that Christ was speaking of here. So we're going to find out who the they were and what type of marriages were going on before the flood. Read.
For as in the days before that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and knew not until the flood came, and took them all away.
So they did the certain activities against the Most High. They was doing some type of marriage that was against the normal marriage. And they were celebrating this activity until the flood. So let's give you what marriage is, first of all, according to Scripture, starting in the time of Adam and Eve. Because the Most High was not against the marriage He created. So the flood was due to some alternative type of marriage. And I used to wonder, why is it homosexuals and people who decided those particular lifestyles have always done this since before the time of the flood? What is this thing in which they have to bring marriage into this? That still don't change what they do in private. Why must they use the term marriage? And while going into the scriptures, we really get the understanding of why they targeted the word marriage based on what was happening before the flood. And how during the coming of Christ, we would see those same things as a sign that Christ is on His way before the spirits that are operating with these deviant actions look to eradicate the Most High's creation again. Let's read the marriage according to the Bible when the Most High pulled Eve out of Adam.
Genesis chapter 2, verse 22.
Go ahead.
And the rib which the Most High Ahiah had taken from man, made he a woman and brought her unto the man.
Woman means from man. That's what woman means. From man. Read.
Verse 23. And Adam said, This is now bone of my bones, and flesh of my flesh.
This is now bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. Read.
She shall be called woman,
She shall be called woman. That's man and woman now. And read.
because she was taken out of man.
Because she was taken out of man. So with this understanding of first building a foundation of what the Most High created, in order for Satan to execute his power in the earth, he must pull away that foundation. So this is about crumbling the foundation in which we all come from. So this is, I don't want to put the cart before the horse, but I'm just showing you that a foundation of what marriage was established before any of us in the beginning. But yet some people would like to put the Bible away altogether so that others can question whether or not the Most High was right when he made male and female. Finish reading.
Verse 24. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife,
Go ahead.
and they shall be one flesh.
And they shall be what?
And they shall be one flesh.
That's marriage. Read.
Verse 25. And they were both naked, the man and his wife.
Now I need you to hold that. The man and his wife. That's marriage. Get Genesis 5:1 so we can see the image of the Most High. Because we were made in the Most High's image.
Genesis chapter 5, verse 1.
Read.
This is the book of the generations of Adam. In the day that the Most High Ahiah created man, in the likeness of the Most High made he him. Male and female created he then.
What did he create?
Male and female created he then.
That's what he created in the beginning. Male and female created he them. Okay, why? The Bible tells us in Genesis, the first chapter, that male and female would get together and be fruitful and multiply. You notice now they're making you believe that two males raising their children is normal, when they did not multiply together. They use science, which is a form of sorcery. Or they adopt other kids when the society mess some people up. Then they use these adoption agencies to go in and steal children. Then they try to put a good spin on a woman, two women raising a child. But the only thing you hear in the media when it comes to regular family is a negative spin, how a regular man and woman cannot qualify to raise a child. But homosexuals can. This is the new spin now. But in the Bible it tells you the image of the Most High is male and female. Why? The Holy Spirit is feminine. The Most High is male. Life came from that. And that's Yeshua, the Word. How do we know that? Hold that and get Genesis 1:26.
Genesis chapter 1, verse 26.
Read.
And the Most High said, Let us make man in our image.
Let us make man in our image. What is the image of the Most High? Hold that and get Genesis 5:1 again.
Genesis chapter 5, verse 1. This is the book of the generations of Adam, and the day that the Most High Ahiah created man. In the likeness of the Most High made he him. Male and female created he them.
Let us make man in our image. Male and female made he them. So that's the image of the Most High. He made an example or a replica in the physical of what was already in the spirit. Crystal clear. But something happened before the flood. Satan wanted, he came in. Now there's images that the elite worship in secret societies. I'm going to read some of this material I have before you. But here, what I have here is a picture of an actual ritual of your elected officials, of the elite, of the Bohemian Grove in San Francisco, the homosexual capital of the world, in which your elite, the rich of the world, come to this place to worship a big owl and do a rendition of a child sacrifice to Moloch. And here they deal with all levels of homosexual activity, and they worship the Baphomet. The Baphomet is Satan himself. So just because you don't believe in the Bible, the elite believes in the Bible. Moloch is written of in the scriptures. That's a Babylonian god that your elite sacrifice to. So you can say you don't believe in the Bible, but your elite, those who are telling you that the Bible is a fairy tale, is worshiping Moloch. And they do these rituals in San Francisco every year, homosexual parties. We got some more information. They call in male prostitutes to have male orgies. This is your elite. This is your officials. They were doing this even before the civil rights movement in America. But why? I'll show you. Let me get a picture of the Baphomet. That's the one I want. That's it. Let me get the other one there. Yeah. Here is the Baphomet that your elite worship. The George Bushes, the Obamas, the powers of this earth, the Masons. This is Jabulon, or the Baphomet. And as you can see, this is Satan sitting down in the same posture as George Washington at the monument, at a monument in Washington, D.C. with the same posture. Yes, George Washington was also a Mason. And as you can see, this is Satan with male and female members. Male and female. He have women breasts. In the spirit of an hermaphrodite. So as you can see, Satan would bring forth his spirit within society to make you believe it's normal for a man to want to be a woman and a woman to be a man. This is the spirit of Satan himself. So now we're living in a society that'll protect those who are under his vibration and under his creation, opposed to what the Most High intended. So what was going on before the flood? When Christ says they will be married and given into marriage. Let's go to Genesis, the 6th chapter. We'll also go into the book of Yasha, or the book of Jasher. For those who don't believe in the book of Jasher but yet believe in the Bible, before we go there, we're going to prove to you that the Bible tells us to go into the book of Jasher. Okay? As a matter of fact, let's get that first, and we'll have to have no problem just smoothly going through these topics. Let's get to one in Joshua.
Joshua chapter 10 verse 13.
Read.
And the sun stood still, and the moon stayed until the people had avenged themselves upon their enemies.
Go ahead.
Is not this written in the book of Jasher?
Is not this written where?
In the book of Jasher?
So the Bible tells us and refers us to the book of Jasher. Jasher was not a man. It's called the book of the upright ones. All the upright ones since Adam wrote accounts in which they left as diaries to be put together. And this was in the Ark of the Covenant. This is information that was passed down from Noah to his son Shem, on and on and on. They all had a record that was left for us. And that's the book of Jasher. Now, going back to the original premise, where it says that they were marrying and giving in to marriage. Who are the they? Let's go to Genesis, the 6th chapter, in the first verse.
Genesis chapter 6 verse 1. And it came to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them.
Now you notice that this doesn't say that these are the sons of Cain or the sons of Seth. These are, and I'm saying that because Catholic churches are telling you, well, this is talking about the sons of Seth dealing with the other nations the Most High said don't deal with. Totally incorrect. This is talking about regular men and women when they begin to multiply like the Most High said do. Read.
And it came to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth.
Go ahead.
And daughters were born unto them.
Daughters were born unto them.
That the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were fair.
They saw them, sons of God, which means angels, saw the daughters of men that they were fair. Now, before you believe that angels cannot fall and do this, remember, Satan fell from the beginning. So he's not the only one. 1/3 of the angels would eventually fall with him. The sons of God did what?
The sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were fair.
So these were angels who saw women and thought that they were beautiful and did what?
And they took them wives of all which they chose.
That was a sin. They took them wives of all they chose. Now let's prove those sons of God is actually speaking of angels and not the sons of Seth. I need you to go to the book of Job 1 and 6. Hold what you have. Job 1 and 6 and 2 Peter 2 and 4.
Job chapter 1 verse 6.
Read.
Now there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord.
This is how we know that in Genesis the 6th chapter, when it says the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were fair. It's not talking about the sons of Seth. This is talking about sons of God, which are angels. It came a day where the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord. Now, only angels go before the Most High, not people. Read.
And Satan came also among them.
And at this time, Satan would come amongst them. He could come to the throne to report back and forth to the Father. How do we know this? This is from the heavenly realm. Read.
Verse 7. And the Most High said unto Satan, Whence comest thou?
Where are you coming from?
Then Satan answered the Most High and said, From going to and fro in the earth.
I was just going to and fro in the earth, proving this conversation is in the heavenly realm. So these sons of God are not on earth. They came from the heavenly realm, saw the daughters of women, the daughters of men, that they were fair, and had children. How do we know this? Hold that and go to 2 Peter 2 and 4.
2 Peter chapter 2 verse 4.
Read.
For if the Most High spared not the angels that sinned.
If the Most High spared not the what that sinned?
The angels that sinned.
The angels that sinned, but did what?
But cast them down to hell.
So the question is, before these angels were cast down to hell, what was their sin? Go back to Genesis 6.
Genesis chapter 6 verse 1.
Read.
And it came to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth,
They was multiplying like the Most High said in the beginning.
and daughters were born unto them,
Read.
that the sons of God
Now the angels,
saw the daughters of men, that they were fair,
they saw the daughters of men that they were fair. They liked the way the women looked. Read.
and they took them wives of all which they chose.
That was their sin, because it wasn't meant for angels to deal with people. That's why it said the angels that sin. So when people say, well, angels can't do that, they're not supposed to do that. That's the sin. So what came from this activity? You talking about the spiritual linking in with the physical. What came from this activity? Read.
Verse 3. And the Most High said, My spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years.
Go ahead.
Verse 4. There were giants in the earth in those days.
When you look in the Hebrew, it's Napoleon. So from this angelic activity with people came giants. And they eventually began to consume or destroy the creation of the Most High. This is where you got these inordinate animals and all that too from. Like your dinosaurs, your Tyrannosaurus Rex, and all these mixing of animals. We're going to prove this out of Jasher. So they were making a new creation that will eventually destroy the Most High's creation. Similar to what's going on today. They're making Monsanto seeds and putting things in the water to turn a person and make them desire their own sex. Telling people they were born this way, when a lot of this is through their geoscience and vaccinations that are having these children born with 2 sexual organs and all these things. It's the same exact spirit. It's Satan bringing forth his spirit to consume the creation of the Most High. We needed an ark before the flood. We needed the ark, to get us through the flood. And we're going to need Christ to get us through this one. That's why Christ says, disciples ask him, when shall that day be? He says, they will be married and given in the marriage. So the same things that happened before the flood is going on right now. There's activity. You see videos out there that show things coming into our atmosphere, and the media is just ignoring it, passing it off as if it's just something that, some phenomenon, when they know exactly what it is. It's the same exact thing. So let's go into the book of Jasher. Before you go there, let's read in Genesis a little bit more, so that the brothers and sisters will understand the spirit of the technology and the destruction that came with this activity. Read.
Genesis chapter 6 verse 4. There were giants in the earth in those days.
There was Nephilim. Read.
And also after that.
And also after that, to show you that it happened after the flood too. Read.
When the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them.
And they bare children to them. So this is no normal children. Because people were having children way before that. They tell you that, Genesis 6 in the first verse. When men began to multiply on the earth. So people were marrying before this action. So this is a separate action. This is the they that Christ was speaking of. Marriages outside of the natural order. Let's go into the book of Jasher, the 4th chapter. Jasher 4. Read.
Start a few verses up.
Yeah.
Jasher chapter 4 verse 14.
Go ahead.
And Methuselah called his name Noah, saying, The earth was in his days at rest and free from corruption. And Lamech his father called his name Manicham, saying, This one shall comfort us in our works, and miserable toil in the earth, which the Most High had cursed.
So the Most High is preparing Noah in this earth to follow him, to protect mankind from from this evil exercise of angels mixed with people. Read.
Verse 15. And the child grew up and was weaned, and he went in the ways of his father Methuselah, perfect and upright with the Most High. And all the sons of men departed from the ways of the Most High in those days.
So people started going away from the law. Read.
As they multiplied upon the face of the earth with sons and daughters, and they taught one another their evil practices, and they continued sinning against the Most High.
And those evil practices are discussed in detail in the book of Enoch, how the angels came and taught men war and different actions that meant death. Read.
Verse 17. And every man made unto himself a god.
So then people started following other gods, new religions, opposed to the God who created Adam. Read.
And they robbed and plundered every man his neighbor as well as his relative.
Go ahead.
And they corrupted the earth.
And they corrupted the whole earth. Go ahead.
And the earth was filled with violence.
And was filled with violence.
Verse 18. And their judges and rulers went to the daughters of men.
Now we know their judges and rulers are the same sons of God in Genesis 6. That links to 2 Peter 2 and 4, which are the angels. Read.
And their judges and rulers went to the daughters of men and took their wives by force
And
from
took
their
their
husbands.
wives by force. So they was committing adultery. Go ahead.
And took their wives by force from their husbands, according to their choice. And the sons of men in those days took from the cattle of the earth, the beasts of the field.
So they took the cattle of the earth and the beasts of the field and did what?
And the fowls of the air.
And the fowls of the air and made what?
And taught the mixture of animals of one species with the other.
So they started interspecies technology and science. So that's your saber-toothed tigers, your Tyrannosaurus rexes, your dinosaurs. The flood destroyed them. Now how do we know this? They found bones of dinosaurs on high mountains, and dinosaurs' legs could not have them climb high mountains. So the water took their bodies or bones afloat, and when the waters receded, the bones settled on those high plains, proving to you that the flood happened. So yes, they created those types of animals to consume us. It tell you that in Genesis 6 that once we could no longer sustain them, they began to consume or eat us. They was using animals. We were their game. They were dealing with cannibalism and all that. Read.
And taught the mixture of animals of one species with the other.
They started mixing animals. Same thing today, brothers and sisters. They showed one picture where they have a chicken growing out of a strawberry. It was a strawberry with a chicken feather coming out of it. Now, who would mix strawberries with a chicken? As in the days of Noah, then shall the coming of the Son of Man be. Mixing salmon with tomatoes. Who would do this? Monsanto. Same thing. Read.
And taught the mixture of animals with one species with the other.
Which is against the Most High. He made every animal perfect the way as they was made from the beginning. Adam named all the animals. They were in their perfection. There was no need for anyone to come in and figure that they need to make another species and start mixing animals with animals, because these were hybrid creations that would turn on mankind. Read.
In order therewith to provoke the Lord.
They did this to provoke the Most High. Why? Because Satan have a problem with the Most High. He was kicked from the heavenly realm, and now his actions is to destroy the creation of the Most High. Read.
And the Most High saw the whole earth, and it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted its way upon earth, all man and all animals.
Go ahead.
Verse 19. And the Most High said, I will blot out man that I created from the face of the earth, yea, man to the birds of the air, together with cattle and beasts that are in the field, for I repent that I made them.
So it tell you in the book of Jasher, when you read further, that eventually the Most High had the animals that were not touched by these beings. He preserved some of the animals, and he didn't have Noah go out and search for them. He sent them to him. And the animals that crouched before Noah, he knew to let them in the ark. Period. So he didn't have to go searching for animals. The Most High sent him the animals to preserve his creation beyond the flood. Also, it tells you that these same hybrid beings, these Nephilim and the fallen angels, taught women potions to stop them from having children, to keep their stomach, to keep their shape. It tells you that. The same technology they give you today, birth control. All that was before the flood. Why should you have birth control when the Most High commanded from the beginning to be fruitful and multiply? It's also a part of this thwarted agenda under Satan against the Most High's natural creation. Now, let's go back to Genesis. And we're going into the next phase of the spirit of homosexuality after the flood. Okay? Let's get Genesis, the 19th chapter. Abram, or Abraham, you know him as today, had a cousin named Lot. Now, what we're speaking of is Sodom and Gomorrah. And you can research this in secular history. For those who don't know about Sodom and Gomorrah, there's a favorite on our channel now, I think, that you can go to prove that this story actually happened. There's ashes all in the area where Sodom and Gomorrah, the great city, once was. It looks like the whole city was placed in an oven. So you can claim the Bible is not real, but if you go to Sodom and Gomorrah, you'll see the ashes from the destruction based on a certain lifestyle that Satan promoted at that time. Now, let's get Genesis 19, and we're going to read a little quick through this because I don't want to make this a story strictly on Sodom and Gomorrah. That's a teaching in itself. But we're going to bring out key points in this chapter. Read.
Genesis chapter 19, verse 1. And there came two angels to Sodom at evening, and Lot sat in the gate of Sodom. And Lot, seeing them, rose up to meet them, and he bowed himself with his face toward the ground.
So these angels were sent by the Most High God himself. Read.
Verse 2. And he said, Behold, now my lords, turn in, I pray you, into your servant's house, and tarry all night, and wash your feet, and ye shall rise up early and go on your ways. And they said, Nay, but we will abide in the street all night.
So he wanted the angels to come in. And the Bible tells us in Hebrews that we have to watch how we entertain angels, because entertain strangers, because some have entertained angels unawares. So he wanted to show good hospitality and treat them right. But they say, no, we're going to walk around this city, Sodom and Gomorrah, and see what's going on here. We're going to walk around. Read.
Verse 3. And he pressed upon them greatly, and they turned in unto him, and entered into his house. And he made them a feast, and did bake unleavened bread, and they did eat.
Go ahead.
But before they lay down, the men of the city, even the men of Sodom, compassed the house round passed the house round, both old and young, all people from every quarter.
Go ahead.
And they called unto Lot, and said unto him, Where are the men which came into thee this night?
So there were people watching all the houses around about, to the point where they knew everything that was going down in the city. You notice how they're trying to get everyone watched now to know where everyone was? Here it is. Those angels weren't with Lot too long, and the homosexuals in the city knew he was there, knew they were there, and say, well, where are those two guys? So why did they want to know who was coming to Lot's house? What concern was it of them? Let's see. Read.
And they called unto Lot, and said unto him, Where are the men which came into thee this night?
Go ahead.
Bring them out unto us.
Bring them to us.
That we may know them.
That we may know them. What did they want to do? They wanted to have sex with these two angels, whom at that time they thought was regular men. So homosexuality got so rampant in this particular city that it was just open for them to just knock on the door and say, listen, it's time for you to give up those guys there. And see, that sexual thing they're dealing with is sadistic on the highest level, and they use it in all parts of society to oppress the Most High's creation. That's why you can't go to a jail anyway, even in jail. They harbor that spirit in jail. That's part of the spirit of being in there. The different religions, the homosexual lifestyle, all of that was part of the psyche of those who created those jails. That's a part of Satan's program. So now they're going to use this, they're going to use brute force to force people into this lifestyle. And let me tell you, homosexuality is no more subtle. Now it's up forth. Now they're being aggressive with this. At first it was about, well, just let us live and we was bullying. It's not about that at all. They have become the bullies. They've always been the bullies. Behind closed doors. They just put on a suit and a tie and a dress. But through their legislation, they've always been the bullies. This is, don't believe what you're seeing out there and what they're portraying. We're showing you in the scriptures the spirit that comes with them if you allow them to run rampant in society and give them full autonomy to exercise this lifestyle amongst people. Read.
Verse 6. And Lot went out at the door unto them.
And Lot went out to the door to them and did what?
And shut the door after him.
And shut the door after him and did what?
And said, I pray you, brethren, do not so wickedly. Behold now, I have 2 daughters which have not known man.
He says, listen, I got 2 daughters who have not known man. He was willing to give up his daughters in an agreement for them before they profane the Most High and profane these angels. Read.
Let me, I pray you, bring them out unto you, and do ye to them as is good in your eyes.
Go ahead.
Only unto these men do nothing.
Go ahead.
For therefore came they under the shadow of my roof. And they said, stand back. And they said again, this one fellow came.
So they said, listen, just stand back. Now he was offering them an opportunity to be straight, to do things righteously. Here's an opportunity. You're a man. Listen, take a woman, marry a woman, do what the Most High set up from the beginning. They said, Lot, you better get out of the way. So this is the aggressiveness that's come with them. And let me tell you, it's a lot of young ladies in schools till this day that are being bullied by female lesbians. And you'll never see this in the media. They're on the basketball teams and all that, on the football teams, pressing young ladies into their lifestyle, jumping them and beating them. And you'll never see the media look at this. Why? They're letting them loose on society the same as Sodom and Gomorrah. And there's a purpose behind it. We're going to show you that purpose in a moment. The elite and the governing powers who are controlling your society loves this. Why? Because this is them. These are those who Satan elected to run society. He have handpicked these. I'm going to show you. Why? Because that is what he is. Read.
Verse 9. And they said, stand back.
They said, listen, Lot, you better get out of the way.
And they said again, this one fellow came in to sojourn, and he will needs be a judge. Now will we deal worse with thee.
So now he says, oh, you're going to try to get in the way of me and those guys who came to your house? Listen, we're about to deal with you, Lot. Now this sounds like a jailbreak. This sounds like something that happens in jail. This is a normal society. It's like, okay, Lot, listen, we're going to let you go, but now, brother, you're going to have to turn around in this thing. Okay, so now, what does the scripture say? Read.
This one fellow came in to sojourn, and he will needs be a judge. We will now deal worse, or now will we deal worse with thee.
Now they're looking to rape. They're looking to rape Lot. Now see why the pastors are not reading these scriptures. Why? 501c3. You cannot speak anything concerning homosexualities and be 501c3 exempt. They'll go after your money. They'll charge you with a hate crime. They'll throw you under the jail. And you know a lot of you are investing that money in all types of things. You are sold and bought. You should never try to go 501c3 and make an agreement with government if you're following the Most High. Christ says, render unto Caesar what is Caesar's, and render unto the Most High what belongs to him. You can't make an agreement with Caesar and not pay the piper. Now, we're in a time in which the Most High said that they shall be married and given into marriage. The time in which homosexuality is something you need to talk about to show the end of the world, and yet you can't even go into it based on your tax status. When this is what you should be talking about. Christ was speaking about these things. Finish reading.
Now will we deal.
And how do we know Christ was speaking about these things? Remember when Christ says, remember Lot's wife? Remember Lot's wife? When the Most High told Lot to get out of there, but Lot's wife's heart was still back in that old wicked city. And she turned to a pillar of salt. So Christ spoke of this. But yet your churches will not. Because they are not churches of the Most High. They're Roman temples. They're pagan temples. They're satanic temples. Worshiping the sun. Not the S-O-N. The S-U-N. Read on.
Now will we deal worse with thee.
They say now they're ready to deal with Lot. They're ready to rape Lot. Read.
Than with them. And they pressed sore upon the man, even Lot, and came near to break the door.
So let's look at the spirit on these guys. They got tools. They trying to break the door. They coming in, and you know they were strong. They wasn't. See, a lot of you think that these homosexuals were the guy with a limp wrist. You saw a mistake. And these guys they got biceps, chest hanging out, veins coming out of their neck. These are rough homosexuals here. So they coming for keeps. This is where you get the spirit of those jailhouse homosexuals at. Read on.
And they pressed sore upon the man, even Lot, and came near to break the door.
Go ahead.
Verse 10. But the men put forth their hand and pulled Lot into the house to them.
So the angels moved Lot out of the way and did what?
And shut the door.
Read.
Verse 11. And they smote the men that were at the door of the house with blindness.
So they smoked those guys with blindness, which was on the stoop before Lot's house. Read.
Both small and great.
Now I'm going to show you how crazy these guys are. Listen to what they do next. Read.
So they wearied themselves to find the door.
So they was coming after them like this in the dark, blind, still trying to rape these guys. What type of spirit is on these guys? They're blind. That's enough to say, you know what? Okay, let me get home and get myself together. But no. They was going to do this thing blind. See, this is the spirit that brothers and sisters have to examine, that they don't speak about in mainstream society. These are they that hang out and you think they cool, but they're waiting for a chance to get next to your son or daughter. These are they, I'm telling you. Because they're not satisfied. They claim they just want to live and let live. They're not satisfied until they figure that the only way people will accept them is if they turn other people the way they are. Listen clearly. They're hanging out at your schools. They're inviting your children to certain parties. They're giving them certain literature to actually introduce them into that type of lifestyle. And see, this is what they do. They understand They understand what they can do if they can get someone to deal in that action first before they know what it feels to have a normal reaction to pleasure when it's time to marry. So they try to get them young and get them to have pleasure the wrong way, so that they can think that it's normal, it's right, when they've been introduced to it unfairly. They've been enticed to something that should not even been an option for them. Now listen to this clearly now. What's the next step here with these angels? We're in Genesis 19, read.
Verse 12. And the men said unto Lot, Hast thou here any besides? Son-in-law, and thy sons, and thy daughters, and whatsoever thou hast in the city, bring them out of this place.
He told them, listen, I'm telling you now, Lot, everything you have that you love, get them out of this place. Read, why?
Verse 13. For we will destroy this place, because the cry of them is waxing great before the face of the Most High.
He says, we're going to destroy this place, because the cry of the people that was forced into this have went up into the Most High. It's people, let me tell you, it's a homosexual onslaught on society. This is not a person people just want to live or let live, because they've been living their lifestyle like that in the closet for the longest. No one was bothering them. This is actually them imposing their lifestyles on everyone else. That's what this is about. This ain't about them, because who's been stopping them from being homosexuals? So somebody is letting them loose. Some spirit is letting them loose on society, and I'm going to go into that in a moment. Read on.
Verse 13. For we will destroy this place.
Go ahead.
Because the cry of them is waxing great before the face of the Most High. And the Most High have sent us to destroy it.
And he says, the Most High have sent us to destroy it. Go down to the part where what happened with the Most High. I mean, when the Most High judged it.
Verse 15.
Read.
And when the morning arose, the angels hastened Lot, saying, Arise, take thy wife and thy two daughters which are here, lest thou be consumed in the iniquity of the city.
He says, if you don't leave out, you're going to die with the sins of the city. Sound familiar? Come out of her, my people, that you be not partakers of her sins and receive not of her plagues. Sound familiar, don't it? Read.
Verse 16. And while he lingered, the men laid hold upon his hand, and upon the hand of his wife, and upon the hand of his two daughters, and the Most High being merciful unto him. And they brought him forth, and sent him up without the city. And it came to pass, when they had brought them forth abroad, that he said, Escape for thy life, look not behind thee, neither stay thou in all the plain. Escape to the mountains, lest thou be consumed. And Lot said unto them, O not so, my Lord, behold, thy servant hath found grace in thy sight, and thou hast magnified thy mercy which thou hast showed unto me in saving my life.
Go ahead.
And I cannot escape to the mountains, lest some evil take me and I die. Behold, this city is near to flee unto, and it is a little one. Oh, let me escape thither. Is it not a little one? And my soul shall live. And he said unto him, See, I have accepted thee concerning this thing also, that I will not overthrow this city, for the which thou hast spoken. Haste thee, escape thither, for I cannot do anything till thou be come thither. Therefore the name of the city was called Zoar. Verse 24. Then the Most High rained upon Sodom and Gomorrah brimstone and fire.
Read it again.
Then the Most High rained upon Sodom and Gomorrah brimstone and fire.
Then the Most High rained down on Sodom and Gomorrah brimstone and fire. Read. So why did the Most High do this? If everyone should accept everyone's lifestyle and it's normal and it's regular and people are born this way, why did the Most High destroy it? Now, if you notice, the majority of people that's dealing with that lifestyle also are operating in the same spirit as atheists. You notice that? That they question the validity of the Bible just like atheists? To hide their sin? There's more. Read.
Then the Most High rained upon Sodom and Gomorrah brimstone and fire from the Most High out of heaven, and he overthrew those cities and all the plain, and all the inhabitants of the cities, and that which grew upon the ground. But his wife looked back from behind.
And his wife looked back. Her heart was still there. Read.
And she became a pillar of salt.
She became a pillar of salt. And if you look at the Bible dictionary, when it shows you Sodom and Gomorrah, her pillar of salt where she stand is there to this day. You have the Bible dictionary on you?
Check.
Let's check and see if we have it on us. The Zondervan Bible Dictionary. Till this day, you're going to tell me the Bible is not real. Till this day, she stands as a pillar of salt, as an example of what happened during the time of Sodom and Gomorrah. Let's get it real quick. The water, brother. I appreciate it. Let's get it here. Hold that. The water. Yeah, read it.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 10, verse 6.
Read.
When the ungodly perished, she delivered the righteous man, who fled from the fire which fell down upon the 5 cities, of whose wickedness even to this day the wasteland that smoketh is a testimony, and plants bearing fruit that never come to ripeness, and a standing pillar of salt is a monument of an unbelieving soul.
So the Apocrypha tells us that it's a monument for us till this day that you can actually go see yourself. Now, in the Zondervan Bible Dictionary, it shows us a pillar of salt on Jebel Asdun, the hill of Sodom. And as you can see, brothers and sisters, this is something totally independent from the mountain it's on. It's like it grew out of the earth itself. That's Lot's wife. There she is. She's a monument till this day. As you can see, this is not part of the normal mountain landscape. They're hiding the true spirit of homosexuality, and they hate the Most High for not accepting that. Why? Because it's the spirit of Satan, and he's not accepted. There's more. There's more. Go to Romans 1, and I need you to get the book of Jude when it says going after strange flesh.
Jude, chapter 1, verse 7.
Go ahead.
Even as Sodom and Gomorrah, and the cities about them in like manner, giving themselves over to fornication.
Giving themselves over to fornication, which is unlawful sexual activity. And what is this? What fornication? Read.
And going after strange flesh.
And going after strange flesh. Do you know there's a law in the United States now in which they are telling people in the army it's okay to sleep with animals? Bestiality. They're making that a law in which if they are dealing with whatever while they're out there, that they have the option and they will not get court-martialed if they're caught with an animal. Why do you need a law like this on the books? This is what they're promoting. They're putting these things into your mind because it's people that wasn't even thinking about that at first. It's reverse programming. They're saying don't do it, but in actuality, they're introducing it like they do in school. They call themselves educating you away from something when really they're exposing children to something that they wouldn't have seen otherwise. Same exact reverse programming. Going after strange flesh, and a man dealing with another man, that's strange. That's strange flesh too. That's strange for a man to desire another man. That's strange for a woman to desire another woman. And I know some people are going out there like Lady Gaga and other people out there saying that, well, I'm born this way. Some of them, believe it or not, I'm telling you the truth, brothers and sisters, are. Why? Through their pseudoscience like they did before the flood. Through vaccination programs and all that, they pick certain families for candidates, and they actually are doing things to deform the fetus in the body to have two sex organs. This is what Satan is doing to bring forth his own creation. Stay away from those vaccinations. There's a lot that's going down with them besides the poison. They're creating hermaphrodites. Also, they put B4A or BPA into your water to have men desire other men, to try to turn your genome into another creation. Now, who would think to line a water bottle with this? To change something into a new idea, to chemically attack us into desiring something that's against the Most High. Who would even come up with this? Satan. They're using their science. Run far away from their science as you can. They're trying to do, they're doing exactly what they were doing before the flood. Going after strange flesh, read.
Are set forth for an example, suffering the vengeance of eternal fire.
Suffering the vengeance of what?
Eternal fire.
So that's the future for those that exercise these sadistic lifestyles, according to Scripture. Now, let's move this a little further, and then we're going to turn it over soon. Let's talk about the Greeks real quick. Here's a statue from the Greeks. The Greek god Pan. Now, this is who your elites are operating with. The Greek god Pan, and we know Pan, P-A-N, is Satan. Like Peter Pan. Pan is actually Satan. It's a Greek god that was Satan himself. Okay? One of the images Satan would morph into, the horned god. It says, Greek god Pan, one of the gods these Babylonians worshipped, is associated with pedophilia. Now, this is in Greek art and architect today. Now they're making you feel that a man with a man is normal. But look at this. This is a spirit. And we're going to go into the spirit that comes with this lifestyle. You see Satan looking to deal with this man right here, Pan. This is Greek art. And see, that's another thing they do. They hide their sadistic, satanic activity by calling it art. This is not art. This is pornography. Back then, there was no films. There was no moving pictures. This is how they got their pornography on. They would get people to shape things like this. You can pass it around so everyone else can see it. All right? Now, how do we move this into society? I'm going to show you in one moment. Paul was speaking of these things. For those who don't know, because it went from the Greeks to the Romans. We did a video not too long ago, years ago, called From Babylon, Rome to America. So not only did the sadistic religions come from ancient times, Egypt and all that, homosexuality also was a prominent part of these satanic societies before the Most High took them down. Now, I need you to read this right here. This is, believe it or not, this is Wikipedia. on the god Eromenus. Eromenus. Read that real quick what it says. Pederasty.
Pederasty. In ancient Greece
That's
was
pedophilia. Go ahead.
in ancient Greece was socially acknowledged was a socially acknowledged relationship
Hold up. Pedophilia in ancient Greece was a socially acknowledged relationship,
between an adult and a younger male, usually in his teens.
usually in his teens. So that was a normal thing to see a man, usually someone of high prestigious positions, like your Senate back then. Yes, of the Republic, they would, if they had a lot of money, they could buy young men for sex. This was normal in Greece and in Rome. Read.
Some scholars locate its origin in initiation ritual.
So some scholars locate its origin in initiation ritual, which means in order for you to get into some of these societies higher up and really do good, you must give up yourself to another man if you're a man. And the same thing with women. You must lay down with some of these nasty women out there. Now there's more. Read.
Particularly rites of passage on Crete, where it was associated with entrance into military life and the religion of Zeus.
The religion of what?
And the religion of Zeus.
Okay, America in your constitution drafted the freedom of religion. Why would you want the freedom of religion if you're a God-fearing country? No, you're here to introduce these ancient rituals, these satanic rituals, and hide behind the stigma religion. Now there's more. The Order of Illuminati by Adam Weishaupt in 1776. He was one of the so-called founders. We know that Adam Weishaupt is what you would call the father of the Illuminati, who was bringing Satan into the new world through secret societies. It says Adam Weishaupt was a German philosopher and founder of the Order of Illuminati, a secret society with origins in Bavaria. Now listen to this clearly. He was a Jesuit, so he was raised in the Roman Catholic Church. Now everyone knows that Adam Weishaupt was a Satanist. So how can he be a Satanist in the Order of Jesuits? Yeah, you getting it now? Your Roman Catholic Church is the Church of Satan. He was a Jesuit, trained and educated. His father was also a Jesuit. The Illuminati is a front for the Jesuits, who are actually the Bohemians. You know the Bohemian Grove like we seen earlier? Give me that picture again here. I think I got it here. He was a what? There you go. Bohemians or Babylonian. Bohemians is the same name for Babylonian. So this is the Babylonian grove of Moloch, in which they were sacrificing children, in which your high society, your elected officials, have homosexual activity and sacrifice children. This goes on in your United States of America. It says, the Illuminati is a front for the Jesuits, who are actually the Bohemians or Babylonians. We should say the Pope is a Babylonian. That's why you have your Babylonian holidays. And Christmas is Babylonian. Easter is Babylonian. It's Bohemian. So you are actually partaking ignorantly into their satanic rituals by celebrating them. There's more. The Black Pope, the same. He is the superior general of the Jesuits. Now, it is not saying he's black through face, but the highest Jesuit is called the Black Pope, who have been around much longer than the church. Pedophilia inside the church comes from ancient Crete during the Minoan period under the rule of King Minos, son of Zeus. We also know that Zeus in ancient Greece is Satan himself. So pedophilia is in the mainstream of ancient Rome and Greece. So now they're just bringing it out in the public and letting everyone know that America is dealing with the same religion and the same sadistic practices as ancient Greece and Rome. They have used the media for a long time to program you into believing that these are isolated incidents when you hear of children missing, children being kidnapped, children dying, Jack the Ripper and all these other satanic guys around killing people and dealing pedophilia with the Catholic Church. They make you think these are this is rogue activity. No, it's not. It's the part of the mainstream way of things and invoking demons in the earth. Now, there's more. Let me read this. And all these are just regular guides that you can find on Wikipedia. There's another god called Minos. He was the king of the Crete, son of Zeus in Europa. After his death, Minos became a judge of the dead in hell or Hades. The Minoan civilization of pre-Hellene Crete has been named after him. Cretan pedastry was an eric from pedophilia that involved the ritual of kidnapping of a noble boy by an adult male of the aristocratic class with the consent of the boy's father. Yeah, see what's going on here where they consent to kidnap kids and all this? This is part of history. Homosexuality is embedded in Satan's society. There's more. Aristotle, I don't know if you heard of Aristotle, one of the great philosophers, states that it was King Minos who established pederasty or pedophilia as a means of population control on the island community. So they tested population control by promoting homosexuality in the past. Listen, this is their history. This is no homophobic thing in which we are attacking people. This is history where they're using homosexuality and promote it to keep down the population. So if you can make civilization believe that homosexuality is normal, then people have less children. Why? Because male and male cannot have children, neither can female or female. Automatically, that puts the government in power to control population. It's part of the eugenics program. For those who don't know about eugenics, it's destroying God's people all over the earth and controlling population while they promote fertility of their satanic kind. Okay? Now there's more. Homosexuality is sold to the public as a form of population control and for other satanic reasons. I wonder what those satanic reasons are. Let's talk about this. The IHS stands for Horus, Isis, Set. For those who don't know this, I'm going to show you. It's going to blow you away. The Trinity of ancient Egypt. Now, I'm going to show you a symbol with the sun with IHS on it, and a lot of you probably have seen this symbol and didn't think twice about it, right? In the Catholic Church. This symbol is in the Catholic Church with your Pope before your eyes telling you who they're worshiping, and you're just looking at it as just something that's just hanging around. But when you examine this, it says the IHS that the Pope holds really stands for Horus, Isis, and Set, the Trinity of the ancient Egypt. Yes, in Christianity, this symbol, that's your Trinity. It's not the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. It's Isis, Horus, Set. You're dealing with the virgin child of Isis. Horus. Now there's more. The cult Aleister Crowley was involved in. The OTO. You didn't know Aleister Crowley, the Satanist? The one that's behind all the satanic rock and roll guys initiated like the Beatles into Satanhood and promoting their music so that people can accept the lifestyles of Satan? Listen to this clearly. The cult Aleister Crowley was involved in the OTO. They have anal sex, ritual magic as part of their cult rituals. It even says right here on Wiki page, on Wikipedia, Ordo Templi Orientis. These are actually factions of the Roman Catholic Church, satanic factions that you all don't know about. Aleister Crowley was let loose on society by the Roman Catholic Church. It says right here, in your Wikipedia, under Ordo Templi Orientis, the initiation, go down to Hermit Triad. They refer to the Illuminati and masturbation, magic, sex, magic, and anal intercourse. This is what it's about. This is what's going on with your Catholic Church. This is what's going on with your elected officials. This is why they're looking to destroy anything that's good. So it's deeper than them giving sexual rights and bullies and little boys that, because they walk a certain type of way being bullied. It's deeper than this. This is an onslaught and a direct destruction against the creation of the Most High to make us feel bad being normal. Desiring the regular norm of things. Desiring what the Most High told us to desire. And so that we can give up regular values and accepting a regular man and woman as marriage and accept a sadistic lifestyle that's out to destroy all of us. There's more. Oh, we're going to get it up to date here. I got a lot of different information, but I can't go through it all because I'm running in my time. But this was in your news, and a lot of you, it just went right by you. In the Washington Times, homosexual prostitution inquiry ensnares VIPs with Ronald Reagan and the Bushes. Now, we got a lot of information on this. This was Main Street. Also, at the Bohemian Grove, they made fun of Ronald Reagan, even while he was president, breaking off a stick and anally dealing with him in front of other diplomats. Yeah, this is what goes on. Yes, behind closed doors. So listen, don't think that what they show you when Barack Obama is standing before you with the lights on is your president. He be in all types of compromising positions. And not only the man, so is the woman. Everyone know that Hillary is out there, that she's lesbian as lesbian as you can go. Now, here's the guy who introduced homosexuality into rock and roll, into music, and also gave people rituals, gave them incantations and invocations to deal with spirits as they deal with male orgies. His name, Aleister Crowley. See the 6-pointed star? Now, this guy was so sadistic, he was found in his hotel room days before, dead. He was so riddled with demons, he chewed off all of his fingernails, dealing with satanic rituals, and he was found dead in the hotel. Okay. Also, this is Barbara Bush's father. Barbara Bush's father. Okay. There he is. Look at the 6-pointed star. Okay. Now I'm not even going to put out some of the things. I don't even want people looking into because I did some research on this guy, and this guy was, oh man, he was trying to suppress his homosexuality. He was so sadistic. He would run around and grab little boys and take them from their families and do all types of rituals with them. This guy is as sadistic as it goes, Aleister Crowley. Also, there's certain rituals to Pan, which is the image of Satan, that he talks about in some of his work. And in order to invoke Pan, it must be through homosexual intercourse. If you say certain things, you can invoke certain spirits into the presence to operate within their their homosexual act. So it's deeper than the act itself. It's invoking of spirits. Man, I got so much information here. Let me just try to break this down. I can't even say some of these things here. Let's see here. No, I can't. Let me tell you, brothers and sisters, there's a lot of explicits in here. And some of the stuff that he wrote, I have 2 pages of some of the information, but it's a lot of things that are explicit I can't even say. But I'm going to say this part here in one paragraph of his writings of the OTO. It says, the same was true. Matter of fact, let me get up here and it says, Theodore Roos, activities as singer, spy, Mason, and founder of the Ordo Templi Orientis can be explained by his unbalanced life of repressed homosexuality, and indeed, there were some yellow journalist scandals, even into Masonic circles. So a lot of those Masons, to get power, they have to deal with the homosexual thing. Of some nasty Roos stories in this time in 1906. Now, this was the turn of the 20th century. It says, the same was true of Aleister Crowley. Up until 1912, he slept mostly with ugly women, mostly repressing his homosexuality. He even had problems with masturbation, and after taking over the English branch of the OTO, he also accepted the anally oriented 11th degree on the masturbatory oriented 8th degree. A noticeable decline in his works came when he was taking over the OTO. He lost his inner drives probably in living out his sexuality. So it goes into certain degrees in which if you operate in these degrees, you must deal in homosexuality. And examine this for a second, brothers and sisters, what they're dealing with here. Examine the fact that these are actual factions of the Roman Catholic Church. So the majority of the priests and those that they initiate to become priests and popes are known homosexuals and pedophilias. Now, I have other information, but I'm running into time, so I'm going to break this down real quick. But let's read something out of the scriptures. Because Paul was living during the time of the height of the Roman Empire, and he was speaking about this spirit running rampant amongst the people during his time. So some people might think that this is just a thing of the Old Testament. Read Leviticus 20 and 13 real quick. It's deeper than the Old Testament. New Testament preachers need to teach what Paul was dealing with in Rome. You can't excuse homosexual behavior. Because why? The behavior itself was created to absorb normal creation and to destroy the normal way of things. So it's deeper than a man's choice or a woman's choice. Because it's not your choice if it's being imposed on the rest of society. Because we don't have a choice but to deal with you if it's being imposed. Read Leviticus 20 and 13.
Leviticus chapter 20 verse 13.
This is the law.
If a man also lie with mankind, as he lieth with a woman,
Read.
both of them have committed an abomination.
It says, if man lies with mankind according to the law, as he lieth with a woman, they both have committed an abomination. Both of them. Because you're not supposed to lay with a man like you lay with a woman, to desire for love. Read.
Both of them have committed an abomination.
Both of them have committed an abomination. Read.
They shall surely be put to death.
According to the law, they shall surely be put to death. Now, we're not looking to kill or have other people kill homosexuals. That's where the grace of Christ come in at. Like any sin, that sin can be forgiven, but you must first acknowledge that it's a sin. Don't excuse it by saying that, well, I was born this way, it's just natural, and as long as I accept the blood of Jesus, no. You have to accept the fact that something is wrong. And this also kills the thing when someone tried to talk about homosexuality, that one may come back and say, well, you're judging. We're not judging you. According to the judgment, a person would put you to death. So correction is not judgment if you're reading out of Scripture. We're just letting you know what that particular lifestyle have brought to society. Also, how it's being utilized as a minority group, and that's unfair in itself. Because when Martin Luther King and our people were dying during the civil rights movement, it wasn't for sexual preference rights. And now homosexuals are being more protected under the civil rights movement than us. So the whole movement have been hijacked by the homosexual agenda. And no one have said anything. Now, if you have a regular fight with a man, and you might not even know he's a homosexual, but you having a regular fight, two men fighting, now because this guy's a homosexual, he can ramp up the charges by saying it was a hate crime because he was homosexual. You didn't even know the guy was homosexual. You just having a fight with another dude who offended you. But now there's all these laws to protect homosexuals. Why? To protect them, but to come after natural families, to come after children, to come after regular families. Why? As the days of Noah, then shall the coming of the Son of Man be. They're letting the nihilists, the homosexuals, they're letting the psychotics loose on the Most High's creation. And they're looking to destroy anyone who believes in the Bible, because it exposes the spirits that are behind such behavior. The Bible says, if you lie with mankind as you lie with the woman, read.
Both of them have committed an abomination.
Both of them have committed an abomination. Now, through the Spirit of Christ and mercy and love, now a person is not immediately killed for sin. And we thank the Most High for that, because all of us probably would be dead by now. But now that you have the grace to know how the Most High feel about it, will you put it down and come back to the Most High? You can. All manner of sin can be forgiven, except the sin of blaspheming the Holy Spirit. That will not be forgiven in this world or in the world to come. So if somebody is a homosexual, they're not judged, or they can be forgiven, but it's hard to be forgiven when you're taught that that particular lifestyle is natural. Because now you feel there's nothing to repent from. That's where Satan wants you. Paul spoke about these things. Let's go to Romans, the 1st chapter.
Romans chapter 1, verse 20.
Read.
For the invisible things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made.
Go ahead.
Even his eternal power and Godhead.
So it says we know what the Most High allows and wants in this earth based on the things that are seen. We know what's going on in heaven based on what was made in the beginning. Male and female made he them, so that we are without excuse. So we can't come around now some 12,000 years later and say that the Most High made me desiring the same sex. He made male and female from the beginning as an example so that we cannot be without excuse. And how can someone say that there's something wrong with male and female coming together when everyone walking this earth right now came from male and female relations, including the homosexuals? So just examine that for a moment. But they're turning homosexuals against what created them. And the elite is playing on this. They don't care about your rights. They just want you to exercise a certain spirit to attack the Most High's creation. The question is, regardless of what you're doing, what side do you want to be on when this is all done? Read on.
so that they are without excuse.
Go ahead.
Verse 21, because that, when they knew the Most High,
When they knew the Most High.
they glorified him not as the Most High,
And I'm reading out of the New Testament. Read.
neither were thankful, but became vain in their imaginations.
Read.
And their foolish heart was darkened. Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools, and changed the glory of the uncorruptible power into an image made like to corruptible man, and to birds, and four-footed beasts, and creeping things. Wherefore the Most High also gave them up to uncleanness through the lust of their own hearts.
So they started making idols and dealing with alternative gods instead of accepting the God that made them. And you notice all these images come with that lifestyle, like that Bohemian Grove, like that owl you seen at the Bohemian Grove in San Francisco. Read.
Verse 24. Wherefore the Most High also gave them up to uncleanness.
So because they didn't want to acknowledge the Most High, and a lot of these people who deal with that lifestyle, at one point in their conscience, they knew it was wrong. They were fighting against it. Until society told you it was okay. They don't let nobody change these thoughts. Nurture this thought. Society nurtured that thought so that you can stay in that behavior. So read that last part again there.
Wherefore the Most High also gave them up to uncleanness through the lust of their own hearts.
So because they wanted to deal with this and excuse this, the Most High turned them to believe their own heart. Read.
To dishonor their own bodies between themselves.
To dishonor their own body between themselves. This is Paul. Read.
Verse 25. Who changed the truth of the Most High into a lie,
Satan did. Read.
and worshiped and served the creature more than the Creator.
Now we believe in man's science opposed to the Creator himself. Satan did that, where we'll go to science to excuse our behavior. If you can convince yourself there is no God and there is no judgment, okay, I can stay the way I am. But even, let me tell you, we all know there's a God. But you figure if you can convince yourself of that, then you don't have to change your behavior. So when that happens, a next step comes into effect spiritually that Paul spoke of in the New Testament. Read.
Verse 26. For this cause the Most High gave them up to vile affections. For even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature.
Now a woman, because she didn't want to follow what the Most High said and accept what the Most High said, turn her body into a use that is against nature. That's in the Bible. It's natural for a woman to deal with a man and have children. Now she's doing something against nature. She's going with the same woman or another woman somewhere in all, and now unnatural affection is coming from this. And then society is pushing to take the children away from straight people and give them to homosexuals. So now children are growing up in their influential years believing that that's normal. To perpetuate the curse, which perpetuates the curse itself, because now the child is confused in their influential years, and now they grow up naturally desiring what their parents do. That's natural. If you have a man and woman in a household, the child is going to learn from the man and woman and learn that that's normal. So if you have a society that allows homosexuals to adopt children, the children are going to grow up believing being homosexual is normal, and they will desire the same thing. And we all know that in your household, if you have children, they're going to walk in a room one time or the other with the parents in a compromising situation. So what happens when a child walks into a room and this thing going on? Read on.
Verse 27. And likewise also the men,
Then here come the men,
leaving the natural use of the woman,
leaving the natural use of the woman, which was in the beginning male and female made in them. Read.
burn in their lust one toward another.
Burn in their lust. Now their lust is one towards another. men on the down low, getting with other guys and all those other things. Instead of not only suppressing that spirit, but having the demon cast out altogether. By confessing the fault, understanding that something is in you that's separate from you, so that it could leave. Talk about what happened to you as a kid one day when you were next door and some guy entered a spirit into you beyond your control, when you were raped or when you were taken advantage of by someone older. Usually that's where it comes from. And they usually target the underprivileged and those that are not paying too much attention to their surroundings. And they see the children out there who are prime candidates to be initiated into this sadistic lifestyle. Read.
Men with men.
Men with men.
Working that which is unseemly.
It's unseemly to who? The Most High God. Because why? It's unseemly to him because he cannot see life coming from it. He didn't create that. So this is not to talk down or go against someone else. This is to say what's right and what's wrong. Read.
And receiving in themselves that recompense of their error which was meet. Verse 28. And even as they did not like to retain the Most High in their knowledge.
So now these are people that used to go to church or whatever, used to read the Bible. So because you did not want to remember what the Most High told you, even in your spirit when you read the scriptures, you don't want to retain that in your knowledge. Read.
The Most High gave them over to a reprobate mind.
So since you didn't want to follow what you knew was right, then the Most High give you over to Satan. He give you over to a reprobate mind. What is reprobate? To make you believe right is wrong and wrong is right. Now you'll start believing in evolution. You'll start believing you're an atheist. You'll go into all these other ideologies, just to confirm to everyone that your lifestyle is normal. That's reprobate according to scripture. Read.
To do those things which are not convenient. Verse 29. Being filled with all unrighteousness.
These are the spirits that come with it. This is why the Most High destroyed it during Sodom and Gomorrah. What spirit comes with it? Unrighteousness.
Fornication.
Fornication.
Wickedness.
Wickedness.
Covetousness.
Covetousness, that means wanting what other people have. And that's another thing. They're coveting the regular lifestyle the Most High created. They're mad when relationships, when they see a family, a husband and a wife. Instead of them getting the same thing, that they can have the same thing if they decided not to live that lifestyle. So what do society do? What do your social workers, and they put these people over you as social workers to help break up your families and take your children. They put them in school and as nurses in different parts and high levels of society with that anger towards the Most High's creation. Read.
Covetousness.
So they want what other people have. Read.
Maliciousness.
And they have malicious intent. Go ahead.
Full of envy.
Full of envy. They can't stand the fact that people are straight. Read.
Murder.
Murder. Yes, they will kill you in a moment. Read.
Debate.
Debate.
Deceit.
Deceit.
Malignity.
Malignity.
Whisperers.
Whisperers. Why do you think they're on all these rumor shows? Talking about, yeah, girl, look at what's going on over here, and this guy did this over there, and Hollywood this. They're whisperers. This is what they do in all their rumor programs. They got, you know, they got homosexuals in all these tabloid episodes. And people laughing at them and goating them on. Read.
Backbiters.
Backbiters. They'll tell you, they'll snitch on you in a minute. This is what they do. If you're working amongst them and all that, they will snitch on you. That's the spirit. So it's not just the act of homosexuality, the act of their sexual act. It's all the spirits they allow to enter them once they convince themselves it's how the Most High made them. that they were made this way. Once they are reprobate and believe that it's normal, all these other spirits enter into them because they're no longer fighting against it. They're no longer struggling with it. So since you're not struggling with it, the one demon say, well, okay, let me open it up and let all my buddies up in here. Read on.
Backbiters.
Backbiters.
Haters of God.
Haters of, they can't stand the Most High. Why? Because they know what the scriptures say. Read.
Despiteful.
Despiteful.
Proud.
Proud.
Boasters.
Boasters.
Inventors of evil things.
Evolution. They invented that to excuse their cause. And Satan even let all types of chemicals loose in the water so that animals are confused now. You got different animals and different amphibian creatures and different things in the waters that are starting to go at each other. Male and male and female and female. They're doing this on purpose. You got shows out here now perpetuating it through Oprah. Well, are you going to tell them for the first time what you've been feeling? I made it straight, and I'd say this all the time. I made it straight with my boy. I told him straight off. Listen, if you ever come up to me with that mess, you're gonna be missing. Okay? I don't care what society is telling you. I told him at a young age. Listen. You go out like that, you'll be missing. I'm not accepting it. I don't care what society say. Okay? Authorities will be asking, okay, when is the last time you seen him? Period. So you must tell them that at a young age and let them know. Listen, if you see somebody trying to play around you and touch you in the wrong place, you let me know. You can't accept that and say, well, that's normal. And now they have it where they're getting children used to other people touching them, like the TSA on the airlines now. So what happens if now they can pat down your child talking about it's iconic? They know that kid ain't doing nothing. And touching your kid talking about, okay, now I'm going to touch the frontal part of you now. Like, just hold tight. And okay, there it is right. All right, now turn around. Okay, I'm gonna be in your crevice here, but just hold tight. And your child is just sitting there like that. What is they getting your child used to? So now your child don't know the difference when another person of so-called authority tell them to turn around and do certain things. It's all being inbred within society now. They're cutting loose like we seen in Genesis. Now they're bullying us and they're at the door, kicking the door down, walking around trying to feel for more people to seduce into their lifestyle. Read on.
Verse 31. Without understanding.
Without understanding, because reprobate, they don't want to understand no more. Read.
Covenant breakers.
They're covenant breakers. Read.
Without natural affection.
Don't have natural affection because why? You've already turned yourself to believe that dealing with another man is right or dealing with another woman is right. That's an unnatural affection. Read.
Implacable.
Implacable.
Unmerciful.
Unmerciful.
Who knowing the judgment of the Most High, that they which commit such things are worthy of death.
See what Paul says? That they which commit such things are worthy of death. Now Paul was speaking this during the height of the Roman Empire. Why? Because there was people in the church of Rome converted into the church, still practicing those lifestyles. So he had to write a letter to the church saying, listen, y'all not going to have that up in here. It's okay if you did that in the past, but listen, you're going to have to change up in this church. And that's what Paul was writing. So for those who don't believe that's in the New Testament, read Romans, the 1st chapter. Preachers are not talking about it anywhere in the world. Why? Because now society have overthrown the church. It began in 321, between 321 in 325 AD under Constantine, when they integrated the pagan beliefs into Christianity. And they slowly merged the sexuality that was hidden in the closet, and they slowly eased it into mainstream. And now everyone thinks it's normal. But no, it's the time of the end. The Most High is going to rain down fire on this earth. Now, through all these different states and different parts of the world, different, not just in America, but different states, now they have in marriage, means male, male, female, female, and they are proving this through each country. Don't you know the more these things become law, the more the voices are crying out to the Most High, like we read in Sodom and Gomorrah? So sooner or later, the Most High is going to rain down fire. It's going to come in the form of war. And then his son will enter the atmosphere and finish the rest. So I wanted to bring that forth so that we can understand that lifestyle on a whole nother level. It's not just people looking to live amongst each other and be treated like everyone else. It's not that. It's part of the occult. And with that, I'm going to say shalom. And I hope you got some understanding on this. And we did not say this to offend anyone. If that's what you're struggling with or whatever the case is, you can repent from it and be cleansed. You can be baptized. And if the Most High don't hold those things against you, neither can man. Okay? You can just go forward and do what's right. And if people are struggling with what happened to you through this pseudoscience and turn people to hermaphrodites or whatever the case is, you must operate in the spirit of eunuch. Look up the word eunuch. E-U-N-U-C-H. Okay? And we'll talk about that in an entirely different lesson. I hope